I am so excited for today's chat. Today's topic comes from, well, a couple different sources. We were discussing in one of the groups that I lead about the emotions that we experience as we're walking these difficult paths that life leads us on. And then today on social media, I saw a meme that it needed to be called out. It's not okay, it's a lie. So today we're talking about anger. Anger. The most misunderstood emotion on the feeling wheel. I feel like anger kind of gets a bad rap. When we hear about anger, we're like, oh, that person got angry, or please stop getting angry. I'm so sorry that I got angry. Anger is like the shameful one. If I'm feeling angry, it's because I'm doing something wrong, right? That's kind of what I grew up thinking. I'm not sure I can say that's what I grew up being taught, but it's certainly what I grew up thinking, that anger is bad, that it's a bad emotion. In fact, we often hear about it on the negative side of the feelings wheel. It's a negative emotion. So I want to talk about it today. Let's talk about this negative emotion. This is what I found on social media. Here's this lovely meme. All right. A wise man was asked, what is anger? And he gave a beautiful answer. It is a punishment you give to yourself for somebody else's mistake. I have so many problems with this. It's, first of all, it's not true. Let's just get that out of the way. That is not true. I know it's really presenting itself to be like mystical and ethereal and Shakespearean wisdom. No, guys, it's a lie. It's just a flat out lie. Here's the thing about anger. It's just one of our emotions. It's something that we're going to feel because it's an emotion that comes to us. I had a friend once tell me that feelings are our friends. And I love this idea. I love this concept, and here's why. Because if I have a friend come into the room, I'm not going to be like, oh, friend, actually, go away. I don't like you. You're just a punishment for me. So get the hence. Like, that's not going to happen, right? When we have a friend enter the room, we say hello to it, to them, to him, her, and acknowledge their presence. And the same should be happening with our emotions, with our feelings. When we feel something, shoving it down is not actually going to help. Things that are just buried alive come back alive. It's going to come up sooner or later. But what we got to do is just acknowledge them. When we're feeling angry, we stop and we say, ooh, I'm angry. This isn't okay. I am angry right now. And we acknowledge. The next thing that I do when I have a friend come over is, hey, what's up? What brings you here today? And I can do the same thing with my emotions. It's very fascinating what happens when you go, hey, anger, why are you here today? I see that you're here. What's going on? And 9 times out of 10, what's going to happen is that your friend anger is going to say, there's a problem that I need to make sure you're aware of. And I'm just not sure you saw it. So I needed to pop in my head and make sure you knew about this issue because it wasn't okay. And I want you to be okay. Anger is an emotion. I like to call it an iceberg emotion. It's one of these ones where, think of an iceberg, right? 10% of it's up top, but 90% is under the water. You can't really see it. Anger is the 10%. It's the attention grabbing part of the emotion. It pops up and says, hey, I'm here, pay attention to me. But there's all of these other things going on underneath the anger. Typically, what I find is anger stemming from one of two things. The first one is fear. It's a fear-based anger. It's something has happened and now I don't know if I can trust my surroundings. I'm afraid of the future. I'm afraid of the person. I'm afraid of the situation. I'm afraid of all of these things that have happened, and it's resulting in me feeling anger. But the second one is grief. Anger likes to come and make us aware of grief. And grief can look like a lot of things. We often think of grief when we lose a loved one, but we go through grieving processes when we experience any major loss. And that might be the loss of a person. It also might be the loss of a future that we were hoping for. Maybe we had this vision, we had this plan, we thought we were walking toward one kind of future, and then something happens and takes it out. That's a loss. We are going to be grieving, and anger is going to be poking in to say, hey, don't forget to grieve this. That was huge, right? We might be grieving the loss of a past. This one's kind of tricky to recognize, but if we've experienced some big trauma, if we've experienced some big betrayal, if we've discovered that what we thought we were living isn't actually true, we end up grieving the loss of a past that we thought we had experienced. And anger is going to do the same thing. Hey, that was a big loss. Make sure you take a minute to grieve that. Don't just shove it under the water and ignore it. Anger is here to make sure that we pay attention. So, is anger a punishment that you're giving yourself? Absolutely not. Is anger a bad negative emotion? No way. It gets kind of a bad rap because anger presents itself in a bunch of different forms. But when we stop and pause and we give space for anger and we say, hey, anger, what are you needing me to know right now? What's going on? What do you want me to be aware of? And then we really pause for a moment and look at that. Anger is going to open doors to some important healing and bring some important awareness to us. So don't shove it away. Just welcome it. Say, hey, anger, what's up today?